If there's one thing that sucks about buying used tech products on Facebook Marketplace, it's the fact that there are so many scammers out there. And the truth is, these scammers are getting smarter and smarter, and their tactics are evolving each day. But if you have a keen enough eye and you know what to look out for, it becomes pretty easy to spot the scammers from the real products. Now, a couple of days ago, I was on the hunt for a pair of Airpods Maxes, and I came across a listing of brand new unopened AirPod Maxes for $300. Now, seeing as the retail price for brand new AirPods Maxes is still $550, I thought to myself that this was a pretty good deal. So I say, hey, I'd love to come by tonight or tomorrow to check it out if it's still available. And he responds, that'd be perfect. I'm off work tonight around 10, but if that's too late, tomorrow is perfect. Now, he did spell two wrong, like should be with two O's, but we'll let that slide. Now, I didn't respond for a couple of hours and this guy seemed to get a little bit impatient, so he sends a passive aggressive question mark. And so I respond, hey, tomorrow sounds good, it's getting a little late, and he gives me a heart. Awesome. Now, at this point in the conversation, everything seems to be relatively normal, but my personality is to imagine every single outcome in every scenario. So I started to wonder, what if these are actually fake AirPods Maxes? Now, I know that there are replica AirPods Maxes out there, but since this listing is for an unopened box, how would I be able to tell? So my first thought was maybe I could ask him for the receipt. So that night I asked for the receipt and he tells me that he'll get it to me tomorrow. And I also wanted to verify the serial number, so he sends me a photo of the actual box with the serial number on it. Now, here's a little tip for you. On Apple's actual website, you can actually plug in the serial number of a device and figure out when it was purchased and what type of coverage it has. And after plugging in the details of that serial number, I was able to get a few crucial details. So for one, I was able to see that these were indeed AirPods Maxes, but two, I was able to see that these were purchased in May of 2023, which is fairly recent. So all of this was pretty good news to me, and I was pretty happy with my detective work so far. Now, the next day comes, and as promised, the seller sends me a photo of the receipt, which I thought was kind of strange, but before I even had a chance to respond, he actually sends me another photo of a different receipt. And this is where the scammer screwed up big time, because he must have realized that the serial number from the first receipt didn't actually match up with the photo of the serial number he sent me yesterday. And so I'm guessing he probably went back into Photoshop and then he changed the serial number and he was like, oops, I sent you the wrong one. Now, let's pause here and think about what's happening. So for one, the seller sends me a photo of the receipt, which by the way, has a lot of sensitive information about his address and the last four digits of his credit card number. But then I started to take a closer look at the receipt and noticed a couple of details that he missed out on. Now, to be fair to the untrained eye, this does look like a genuine Apple receipt. In fact, I do have a genuine Apple receipt that I'll pull up right here, and you can compare the two receipts and see that they basically look identical. But then taking a closer look, you'll start to notice a couple of cracks. So the first thing I noticed was that there's no sales tax. Now, unless you're in one of these 5 states, you're gonna have some sort of sales tax that you have to pay for. And being in California, we definitely have sales tax. But then the other mistake that was a little bit harder to notice was with the purchase date, because before, when we checked the serial number with Apple's website, we saw that this specific pair of AirPods Maxes were purchased in May of 2023. However, the invoice says that it was actually July of 2023. So that's one inconsistency where the scammer messed up. So yeah, at this point in time, I'm fairly certain that the person I'm dealing with is a scammer, and I start calling him out for it. Then he gets defensive, and then I call him out on a couple of more details that he messed up on, and then he stops responding altogether. And then a couple of days later, I find out that his account is actually no longer available, presumably taken down by Facebook. Now let's take a step back. First of all, I'm honestly really impressed with how far these scammers and replicas have come. Not only did the fake invoice look really believable, but also the serial number from the box matched up with a genuine pair of AirPods Maxes. If the scammer had fixed those inconsistencies with the sales tax and the purchase date, it would have been a lot harder to figure out whether this was a scam or not. But then also, these replicas are getting really, really good. Looking at these photos of the box, there's not really a way to tell whether it's a genuine Apple product or if it's a fake. It's only really when you unbox the product and feel the quality of it that you might suspect that you have a fake product. Now, while these scams do change pretty often, I've sort of put together 3 foolproof ways to avoid getting scammed. So listen up. Now, the first tip I have for you is to vet the seller. So there are a couple of details that you can look to figure out whether if the seller is a scammer or not. Things like the profile creation date, the name, the profile picture, as well as a couple of details on the profile. More likely than not, these seller profiles are always going to be created relatively recently, like within the last year or two. Also, the names of these sellers tend to be pretty generic sounding. Honestly, I'd recommend poking around their profile, and it becomes pretty easy to see whether it's a fictitious account or a real person. Now, the second bucket of items that you should look out for are in the listing details. Things like the title, the price, and the description. When it comes to fake listings, sometimes these titles will have the words best offer in them. Also, if the price is too good to be true, or if it says free, again, that is another telltale sign that you're dealing with a scammer. The other thing to look out for lies in the product's description. So the one thing that I've noticed as a trend is that these scammers will always claim that they received these products as gifts. Now, the third and most important tip that I can give you is to look at the receipt and serial number. Make sure to cross-reference the two and make sure that you can verify that the receipt is coming from an authorized seller. So if you're about to buy a product, make sure you do it in person and make sure you ask them to pull up the email from Apple. And then the second thing is make sure that the serial number from that invoice matches with the product that you're purchasing. Once you've purchased the product, take it out of the box right then and there and inspect it and make sure that it feels like a genuine Apple product. In Dave 2D's video, he pointed out that the point of weakness for the replicas was in the sliding mechanism from the headband to the headphone. On the replicas, they don't slide smoothly, so that's one thing to look out for, at least on the Airpods Maxes. Now, I actually met up with 3 different scammers to test my theory out and see what they would do when I asked for a genuine Apple receipt, and here's what happened.
When did you get these?
Like April-ish, I think, because I just moved here.
Do you have the receipt, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so you pull it up. Can you pull it up from your email?
Oh, it's my brother's screenshot, because it's his, but I'm just selling it.
Like, from, from the actual, I gotta verify, from the email, though.
Man, I know what you mean, though. There's like hella fakes, like, people are sending hella fake.
Yeah, so is this fake?
Nah, it's from Apple. It comes back tomorrow. I don't know if you want to wait. We could wait till tomorrow if you want.
Could you show me the receipt by chance?
I don't have it with me. I did pay card, so I didn't do like Apple Pay or I know sometimes when you buy something can connect it to your app or whatever. It's honestly it's whatever you prefer. I can try maybe if you want to do another day, I can try to check if I still have it.
Do you have the receipt?
Yeah.
Can you pull it up on the app? On the Amazon app? Sorry, what? Your sister bought it?
I ordered it on another account. Do I need the other Amazon and the Airpods? But I'm not gonna wait there.
So yeah, it seems like none of the scammers could actually provide a genuine receipt that wasn't a screenshot. But in my opinion, you should probably just avoid purchasing Apple products that are still new in the box and in the shrink wrap altogether. That is just a recipe for disaster, as you really can't know what's inside until you give the person the money and you open the box. But yeah, that's basically it. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you have any good stories about scammers or any other tips that you have to avoid getting scammed. Leave a like if this video helped you out or you found it entertaining. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.